Welcome to this video on timing diagrams and static hazards. In this video, the concept of timing will be introduced, with an example, as it is a very important concept in preventing unwanted outcomes and potentially dangerous outcomes. This links to the idea of preventing static hazards. It is best to start with an example, as to consider a timing diagram we need a circuit in mind. The specification states that we want to design a control system for traffic lights A and B. These are sensor dependent, giving an indication of when the lights should change. It has been stated that A is the priority to prevent traffic buildup. We want to design a circuit that changes the lights, triggering the go or stop sequences. The key things to consider for the design are that when a car approaches a sensor, the input to the system becomes a 1. If we let sensor at A be SA and the sensor at B be SB, then we can draw the truth table as follows. Notice how the outputs are such that A is prioritized in the event SB equals 1 as well. To continue from here, Karnaugh maps are the preferred option. In this case, because there are two outputs, we need two Karnaugh maps. The color coding has been done to demonstrate how the K-maps are filled in before looping ones as normal. The result is this final algebraic expression that a circuit can be derived from. The timing diagram works by considering the inputs and the outputs. For example, in yellow writing, the input combinations for A and B are shown. Each column represents a period of time between transitions, showing inputs and outputs. When a 0 is present, it represents logic low, so it is flat. When a 1 is present, it represents logic high, so there's a step up. Whilst the basics of timing diagrams are simple, it assumes perfect timing. But what happens if it isn't perfect? In reality, logic gates have different delays to represent a transition in the output. If we have a high logical depth, which is lots of gates between input and output, then delays worsen. Apart from having a fast system, we only care about delays if they can lead to the wrong output. So in the case of these cars, it means if A changes to green and B is meant to change to red, a delay could make us have green-green for a period of time. This could be dangerous and result in a crash. This was an example of a static hazard. Whilst the system we designed had no hazards, we will look at a more complex system where it is present. Prime implicants are where the ones have been looped such that the number of ones looped is the largest power of 2 possible. Note, other than circling a 1 on its own, we only loop in powers of 2, as in 2, 4, 8, 16, as other looping doesn't tell us anything useful. If there is a gap between prime implicants as shown, then in this example, a transition of B between a 0 and A1 could result in either ABCD being equal to 0101 or 0001, depending on the timings of the gates used. It has the potential to give the wrong output. To prevent a static hazard, we introduce extra logic to cover this gap, so that something is providing the correct output to be fed into the overall OR gate for that specific behavior. This means that if there is a delay, then the true output is coming from the extra logic. To conclude with some final remarks, this video has introduced the basics of timing diagrams with the use of an example. Static hazards are an application in real life that you need to be aware of and how to prevent them. Like and subscribe for more.